You have to create an investor-friendly environment. So what they have already done, in June last year, the president has signed a number of changes to different laws and regulations. So, for example, if you're an investor coming in and seeking projects in Kazakhstan, willing to invest in Kazakhstan, what you have tax holidays for 10 years. You have, for example, 30% and subsidy, or even the vice minister of Mr. Sagadeev said the government is even prepared to pay cash back.
Whether it's technology and innovation that we talked about in the previous panel are good ones. There has been focus on healthcare. But in the near term, a lot of these industries will inevitably have to be focused on import substitution, as opposed to necessarily becoming large exporters of new things. I mean, obviously, the markets themselves are relatively small in terms of population. So that will limit the number of people who want to come from the outside, because they're not going to look at Kazakhstan necessarily as going and producing things in Kazakhstan. So, for example, GE locomotives, right, which did one of the most visionary kind of projects in Kazakhstan, where they started with assembling locomotives, not just for Kazakhstan.
You really have a model to invent that this growth that was based largely on oil. And it's an interesting contrast you draw with Ukraine, because Ukraine was actually the oil and gas center of the Soviet Union in the 70s, and then switched away from there to Siberia, and then that's when they moved to agriculture, as a core strength.
This discussion started happening in Central Asia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, several years ago, the importance of diversifying the economy. And I think if you look at the relative successes, it has been done I think the results are mixed, but certain countries have done a better job of trying to embark on a diversification process using the benefits of the core earnings from oil revenues. And again, at the end of the day, every country, because we spend a lot of time working with countries who are going and trying to attract investment into their nations to help diversify the economy.
For example, even though Kazakhstan is a big country, there are only 16 million people living there. Whereas in your example of Francis, Georgia is a small country as well, and all of them are competing, trying to attract foreign investors in their economy. So Georgia is trading on their geopolitical position. Kazakhstan is trading as well, because between China and Russia. But it's the human talent, one of the keys.